right?
The way I see it in martial arts is one of my mottos is, my goal is to be perfect, but my curse is I'll never be.
Exactly.
However, I will try my hardest to do so.
I'm blind, bro.
Geezus. Как еще сказать? Jesus.
2, 1, and we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geezus. Please don't take it personal. Hosted by yours truly, George MORA, your co-host,
Christian VIDAL.
our camera guy in the back,
Edwin CHUYA.
Edwin CHUYA.
He picked that up.
Edwin
nicely.
CHUYA. We need to get him a fourth mic.
And then we got our,
And then
our
today,
special guest star guy.
we've got a special guest today. His name is,
John Rodriguez.
yes, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's taught me everything I know about kicking people in the chest, kicking people in the nuts, kicking people in the face.
Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to be here.
Man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Yo, fuck. All right, we gotta turn the AC off because we forgot to turn the AC off.
Nah, it's ours. It's ours. That's all. It's our rooms.
Oh, it's our rooms?
It's our rooms. Our rooms are open.
Fuck. All right, let's just get somebody to run back and just turn off that, and then we'll just continue on. Whatever. This is just the technical difficulties we have while trying to figure out this whole podcast
It's a
process.
learning progress, guys.
Exactly. It is what it is. You know, just stick
Please
with
don't
us.
take it personally.
Yeah, just leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you like everything you're hearing right now. But anyways, so John, thank you for coming here today. I know we just had an intense training session.
As usual.
As usual.
This
Because,
was them. I skipped out.
yeah, Christian decided to slack today.
Can't sit there and cap.
Christian decided to slack today.
No.
His only day
I
slack.
did not decide to slack today. I have every intention of picking it up. We have a third room, guys. All right, dedicated just to it. All right,
Just the training.
just a training.
Yeah,
So
we have a
that's
whole third
that's
room.
where I intend on going. All right. But
We'll
I have
see.
a bit of a-
We'll see.
bit
I'll
of a
record it and I'll throw it on Instagram if he actually does it.
Totally. All right, let's do that.
And
Challenge
we-
accepted.
I will expose him.
Like McGregor said, I accept. All right,
Did he? Oh, yeah, he did say
I
that.
did.
He did just say that for one of his fights. But anyways, John, thanks for joining us, man. This is an intense time we're going through right now with like business and everything, and you're the business owner or
Yes, I'm
Yes.
the business owner, and not only the owner, I operate all operations of the school.
the school, right?
Yes.
Which is,
Everything. I wear many hats.
what was the school?
Let's say, yeah,
the school
everybody
name.
with
Yeah,
that
just for
is-
anybody that doesn't know, you know, big shout out to this Taekwondo
Where the
school.
next training
Yes.
days at, right? We're
The
there.
name
Yes.
of the school is New York Black Belt Center, Corona. We have 3 centers. The main one is located in Bayside, under Master Joe Lupo. And then we have another program under Master Chet Bridgewater. I am currently not a master. I'm a 3rd degree. Once you reach your 4th, you become a master. I was
Which is
supposed
soon.
to become a master
So that was
this year.
2020. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
I was supposed to become a master this year, but due to the circumstances, it's going to be postponed.
Oh yeah, for those of y'all who don't know, circumstances, the big C
Both
word
ACs.
we can't say right now, you know, for monetary
This one is still on.
reasons. What are we doing?
This AC is still on.
Oh, nah, there's sun on the floor.
What is it? Oh, it is what it is. Just keep that there.
Yeah. We're not gonna take it personal. Maybe later.
Oh, that's good. Okay,
That
cool.
was on.
That was on.
Was on, guys.
See. All right. Sorry. We're talking about. My bad. I'm sorry.
So
Camera
anyways,
stops, bullets drop.
it's the Taekwondo school. It's in Corona. It's been open for about 4 years. It's been a rough 4 years, but you know, it's much better when you do something that you love.
Yeah, just for 4 years. How long I've been training? I was training there for like
You trained with me for about a little under a year.
a little under a year, but that was what, like 2 years ago, or almost 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Damn. So I was there 2 years in when the school was open and everything. How was the whole starting process actually like in trying to start a Taekwondo school from like what made you even want to start like the whole
super
school in the
quick,
first place?
The question I actually had myself, right? The last time I was there, which would be the day before yesterday, because yesterday was supposed to be my actual off day, which is why I'm not planning on taking today off. But I had a question for you last time I was there, and I saw Joe Lupo, and I saw his black belt, and I saw his picture at the dojo.
Yeah, Joe Lupo's a great guy, bro.
That actually is the father
Okay.
who passed away about
Oh.
6-7 years ago, I believe.
man.
His
Bless
son
him.
is the one who owns the center in Bayside.
Okay.
The reason I have the picture up there, was because his father was my first master.
Okay.
I trained under him. The school was in Whitestone. I went all the way from white belt to Poom, which is in Taekwondo, the belt before black belt.
Yeah, that's the red belt with the black stripes under it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just told me about that the other day.
And that's like the toughest looking belt, man. Like if I had that belt, yo, I've seen people just rocking the belt, just like the little, like the 14, 16 year olds. I'm like, yo, they're nasty, bro. And I was just a white belt going in, like, I'm gonna get my ass beat.
Whenever you go to a tournament, the best fights are the red belts and the red and black belt. Red with the black Poom belts.
Oh yeah. And then
Poom with an N or M?
M.
M?
Poom.
Okay.
Poom. So yeah. And meeting Joe, the son, he's a cool guy. He's so like.
Oh, so he's a junior.
What?
He's a junior.
He's a master.
No, I mean Joe, like Joe.
Yeah.
The father's
Same
Joseph
namesake.
Lupo
Okay.
Senior.
Yeah.
And Joseph Lupo Jr.
Yeah, he has like a strong character about him when he like walks around. Like I feel like when you look at him, man, he looks like he can be a dick. You know, like a hard ass, because he's like bald and everything, but like he just has like this tough exterior. And when I met him, he was also like a little chubby too. So, but like when you meet him, he just has a strong character when he's in class, his class is in session. He has that like strong attitude.
Serious.
Yeah, but like he
has a
knows.
presence.
Yeah, he like adapts to like certain people. Like he knows like who wouldn't be able to take all that and who will be able to take all that. And like the same thing you do. I feel like because y'all both trained under his father. So like that character just kind of like follows down with each instructor. So that's dope. That's why I like the academy so much. Like just NYBCC.
Well, we take things very seriously. We have a passion for it.
Yeah.
In which the way we teach and the way we interact with students. It's hard to find a good school because a lot of masters and individuals, they're more interested in the monetary and factor of it, which for us is great. Obviously, we have to pay bills, we have our expenses, but our passion is what drives us. And to be honest, I have students that, I give them a little leeway. I tell them, listen, don't worry about this month. Give me what you can.
Yeah.
Because if I see someone that wants to train and has the passion for it, I feel guilty denying them that only because they're having financial issues or monetary issues.
Yeah.
Okay, if I could piggyback off that, I'll never forget. So when he had started the whole jujitsu, taekwondo training, that was always something you stood on, right? I'll never forget. I had asked him about how like the money went and how much it cost. Even I couldn't even give you like a number that how much it cost for the month or whatever. But what stood out to me was something that you always that you had just said right now was like if you noticed it, your attitude was really not even coming at the money. Your attitude was like it was one of those like you weren't really asking for it, right? Because that's how you had explained it to me. It was one of those like you should know we're training.
Yeah.
You should know it's due at that day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna come at you for it. But
Yeah.
but you do have to have, you know what I mean? And it's one of those where it's like, so I like, that just shows like the discipline, right? In person and people really, because
Exactly.
like, it's one thing to train physically, but then to have like that mental, I feel like that mental
Responsibility.
yeah.
The mental responsibility
and
to
to
pay
bring
up.
man, because you know what I mean? And I feel like that speaks like volume,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because they're definitely people that can sit there and, you know what I mean, try to.
Well, one gimmick that we do have is that we don't offer contracts.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
most
liked.
schools, they offer contracts. You have to have a signed contract, a year, 2 years,
Okay.
whatever it is. And whether you go or not, just like a gym, you have to pay. So our gimmick, in order to attract customers, and it works, is we offer no contracts. You don't come, you don't pay, which has its consequences and its merits.
Yeah, it's true. I liked it. I always was about going and just trying to. I didn't know anything about mixed martial arts, like anything at all. But at that time I was so into the Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight, and I was following Conor McGregor so hard and his kicks and everything. And I'm like, yo, I just believe in this. And I'm like, I'll figure out striking later down the line. But something I don't know how to do, but I do kind of know how to do because I played a lot of soccer when I was in high school, is kick. So when I came in, I was with a white belt.
Putting some actual thought into it.
Yeah, I was trying to actually, and I would see the way John would kick, And I'm like, dude, this dude kicks so hard. I'm like, he's like about like my height and shit. I'm like, he could fuck up like a 6'1"
For those of
person or
you guys
whatever.
who don't know, all right, when we kick, right, like, or let's say like, so lately we've been training us three, right? 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, we're family, and we can't have we can't be open, right? But us training, just keeping ourselves like ready, right? Dude, I'm this is my first like fucking ever. This is my first time training real Taekwondo, right? I got to sit there and hold a pad to this guy who's fucking sitting there sending kicks, bro. Right?
first
And I
time
got to
you
sit
hold
there and
that
hold
pad.
it, bro. Like, that's when I realized, man, like, dude, kicks will fucking shatter ribs, man. Like, this is like, if it's not something in your arsenal, it is something you should put in your arsenal. It makes you dangerous, bro. It's not something that people are typically used to, right? In the street fight, right?
not
Or
at all.
if you ever have to defend yourself. Dude, just with a fucking pad. The pads are like this thick. Man, I'm sitting there taking it, bro. Ready to like, I feel like I want to throw up, man. Just sitting there like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm timing it, man. Dude, these kicks are insane, man. And it all goes out to like the technique, man, because without that, you're really not. Yeah, I thought a kick was a kick. My leg went, it flew.
And the
You know what I mean?
consistency that y'all built, all like the muscle, the muscle memory, the callus you probably have in your bones just from consistently kicking and kind of wearing that bone down, but then like healing it, giving it time to recover, is just. I remember when you and the other black belt Kelvin were kicking, because we would have these sparring days, right? And for anybody that doesn't know like anything about fighting, like when you have like a sparring day, and I'm a white belt, right? And I wanted to jump in because this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to
Like
compete.
Mr. Gaethje, when do I
Yeah.
get to knock someone out?
Yeah, but I was scared though. I was so fucking scared because the way
nothing like nerves,
the way we
man.
do it at the dojo is everybody sits in a corner, and then we have two people come up, and then they're both sparring, and then we all kind of learn
eyes
from
on
their
you.
sparring. Yeah, all eyes are on you. So you kind of get this nervousness, like, oh, I'm next, right? As compared to where like everybody is just kind of sparring and free flowing, but like. It's just like you're sitting there and you're watching them, you're seeing all these kicks, and you're like studying like all the movements they're doing, like how they're like faking. Like John is like a super smart fighter, right? And then
Very
you'll
technical.
have and then there was this other kid, Aaron. He was a smart fighter too, but he was a lot more like go, and he had like a crazy gas tank. And this kid was like super skinny, but he could just keep flipping and throwing kicks.
Spinning,
Yeah, spinning kicks. And I'm just like, oh god, like. This is so intimidating, but then I was like, yo, fuck it, just throw me up with anybody.
I'll say one thing though. Remember that time we went to that tournament
Yeah.
and you fought, I think, an orange belt.
Yeah.
The next day, the master posts something up saying, "Oh, my student did very well against Mr. John's black belt," and I had to correct him and I was like, "Listen, he's not a black belt; he's an orange belt as well. Except he has tremendous focus, tremendous discipline."
Wait,
Fire.
fuck, so you're an orange belt already?
Fire.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know that. I remember hearing about, so what is it? It's white and then...
Well,
White, yellow, orange.
every
Yellow.
school has their own system.
Okay.
And we try to go by the book. There's 10 levels.
Okay.
You know, so it goes white, yellow stripe, which is like a little black stripe in the middle.
Should be
Orange,
like the
green,
poem.
blue.
Poem.
No.
That's just what we
It's
thought
a
of
yellow.
while we were sitting
No.
here, right?
So yeah, after the yellow stripe, it's orange, green, blue, purple, brown, red, poom, black. So
Okay.
it's 10 levels.
Yeah.
Are there those stripes in between each other?
No,
or
we don't do that.
Just-
We don't
okay.
do that. Some schools do. We don't do that.
So,
And this goes again with the monetary aspect of it. Some schools have 20, 30 levels, but you got to pay
Between
It
each
gets to
level.
them.
to
Yeah.
get to them.
so what would you say qualifies someone to move up in a belt? Or how do you guys go about that? Or how does that work as far
In
as
the
martial arts?
beginning, we're very lenient due to the fact it motivates people
Okay.
to stay. For example, in the beginning, you could be a yellow belt within the first month and a half.
Okay.
You know, it keeps you motivated. However, there are requisites to every level that you achieve. Forms, types of kicks, certain punches, certain defense movements. And it becomes at a point where, you know, after blue belts, which is around the middle range, it takes anywhere 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
So and then once you reach poom, you're poom for minimum a year. Because that's supposed to be the hardest. Because
Yeah,
you
it's
have to
the
prove
hardest
to
one.
me that you're our black belt, that you are part
Dedicated.
of my brotherhood.
Yeah.
And I take it very serious because I've seen many, many black belts in tournaments that are ridiculous, have no skill, and it's obvious that they paid for it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that goes with that saying, as some people say, the McDojo.
The McDojo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Very
McDonald's.
commercial.
Like commercial.
I mean,
Like you
go
gotta
in,
pay for it.
You pay for it. In a year and a half, you get your black belt.
No, but
It's ridiculous.
I definitely feel like when you see in your gym in the dojo, when you see like a poom belt or like a black belt, like a brown, like everybody has taken in a sense like a leadership role, right? Because we're all disciplined. Like when we go to John's, it's yes sir. Everything is yes sir, right?
The etiquette.
Yes, it's the etiquette, which is first you learn right when you're about to walk on the mat with your feet. You do a slight bow. You get onto the mat. You know, everybody treats each other with respect. Anytime John is speaking, it's yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Like no, like just yes or like just sir. Just it's yes sir every single time. And then pretty much every single like level, like every color belt, they take in a sense like a leadership role. Like a responsibility, almost like in a military or something.
Like the white belt.
Yeah, like the black belts understand that like, hey, we need to go easier on the white belt. The yellow belt needs to get pushed a little harder. You know, the red belt needs to get pushed the hardest because they're about to be the black belt.
Just like patience versus intensity.
Yeah, exactly.
It is always said in training, when you spar with someone, a fellow peer, you take away the strength or the force, and you apply only skill.
Okay.
You know, because my rule is you can hurt somebody during training, just don't hurt them. The difference is if I hurt you, say I kick you really hard in your arm, you can come back tomorrow and train. But if I injure you, that means you probably broke a leg, snapped a muscle, tore a muscle. You won't be able to come back for 6 to 8 months. To whatever.
You
yes.
From it.
So, you know, we're very careful in that aspect in regards to not injuring anyone. Hurting, go ahead, hurt each other as much as you want. Busted lip, great. Busted eye, great.
For those of y'all that know, that's just one healing right now.
We
It's
love
one healing
that.
right now. It's a lip healing right now. It's a nose bruise on mine. I got looking like Mr. O'Malley, Shane, right?
Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, the UFC fighter.
The red scratch.
Yo,
He got
matter
a
of
green
fact,
tat, but
hold on.
Same thing.
This is
Same
how
thing.
real Christian is.
But super quick question. So I felt the intensity when you were sitting there saying how it's a shame, right? How certain people pay for their black belts, right? Have you gone up against some of those people or those types of people in tournaments?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
How do you handle that?
One tournament that comes to mind.
When this tournament's a different like mentality, right?
Yeah, this was a local, nothing major.
Oh, okay.
A guy came up
There's
to me.
a difference?
Yeah.
Mental space wise?
Yes. A local, you'll run into some guys that aren't as skilled.
Okay.
We call them cans.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna fight this can.
I like that.
They can't.
But when you go to major tournaments like states, regionals, nationals, you're gonna run into some hairy players.
Okay.
You know, guys that fight.
Down.
So one time I was at this tournament. The master of the guy I'm about to fight comes up to me and he goes to me. He knows me. He knew me. He goes, Mr. John, please be easy on my guy. He's this is not his thing. He's trying out for the first time or he's not experienced. I go, no problem. You know, I took it easy. I know guys that if you told them that, they would knock you out.
Go harder.
Oh yeah, they would go hard.
Make an example out of you.
Yeah, make an example. Like, you know what? You don't belong in my ring. Right. Which is, I understand that. But to me, you know, I found that I love to fight. If there's a tournament, I'll go and I find joy in it. If I lose, I win, great, no problem.
But you got what you were looking for out of it.
Yeah, but that's why I stay away from locals. I'd rather go to regional, fight someone who is worth the money because these tournaments aren't cheap.
Yeah, they're expensive.
You gotta pay to be in them. Oh, I didn't know that.
They're wild expensive. So my question going on to earlier was like, what made you want to really start a business in like Taekwondo or really get into the business of it? Like,
Yeah.
what was your life before and what was your life like?
I'm gonna make a really long story short.
Yeah, okay.
Did you have prospects already willing to join your gym, or
No. The way it worked is I always trained under Master Joe Lupo at Bayside, and it's always been said. I've always had a passion for it. It's been my love. And
Been doing it for like 25 years?
I was since 16.
Since you were 16?
So,
20 plus years.
yeah, 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
24, 25. Anyways,
Guys are the same. We don't give out our age, guys. Right? We don't do that.
so the way it worked, I went to college. I'm an accountant. I was working on Wall Street as a director of underwriting for an investment company. I go on vacation, I come back, they lay me off. Very upsetting because I actually stepped away from training a little bit so I can focus on my career. Because at that time I knew that Taekwondo was not going to pay my bills. You know, I had to focus on, you know, building a future, a financial future. That way I can see myself getting married, kids, house, all the good stuff. So me being upset, I went to Joe right away that same day, and he comes up to me, he looks at me, he goes, don't worry. I didn't say a single word. I just stepped in. He goes, don't worry. We're going to open up a school. I'm like, wow. He goes, you're going to work with me. I'll teach you the business side of it because obviously you know the Taekwondo. And he also taught me how to be lenient. For example, some of his classes I would teach some kids slacking and I would scream at them. So he goes, he came up to me, he goes, John, go look at that kid. And I turn around, the kid's about to cry. He goes, what if that kid quits? What if he doesn't want to come anymore? And I understood it, but didn't really understand it until I had my own school because you know what? That kid is helping paying the bills.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
so if you lose that student, you're out of that money.
Yeah, you're out of that money.
So, you know, I've had friends in the past tell me, you know, John, you should open up a school, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I would just laugh. It would just be such a far off dream. When Joe helped me out, he paid me for teaching. I saved money and I saved every cent that I could. And we made it happen. We did.
How'd you go about finding the location for it?
We went through a few neighborhoods. I originally wanted to do in Jackson Heights, but the rents were too high.
How much?
$10,000 to $11,000.
$10,000 to $11,000.
Tell you what neighborhood we
Yeah.
are now.
Right now we're in East Elmhurst, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Corona.
we're
The
in
school is in
Queens.
Corona, though.
Yeah, but the school's in Corona, which is like about 5 minutes away. Like
Yeah.
the part we live in is Queens, Jackson Heights, East Elmhurst, Corona,
Flushing.
Flushing, all right within each other, 10, 15 minute
So
drive.
originally I wanted to do it in Jackson Heights, but the rents were too high. So then I went to Elmhurst,
$10,000, shit.
around the Broadway area.
Elmhurst around Broadway.
For the same type of space? Or
Same
was it
type of space.
Yeah,
Just
in New York
looking.
City. In New York City, by the
Just
way, so
looking, yeah.
everybody knows.
And the rents were a little lower, $7,000 to $8,000, and it was too much. It was just too much for me. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it because, technically speaking, mathematically, you're making about $100 per student a month.
Okay.
So say if you're paying $7,000 to $8,000, you need to have minimum 70, 80 kids just to cover rent.
Yeah.
So it just seemed high, and then we found a spot in Corona. We spoke to this gentleman, and we hit it off right away. He actually gave me $1,000 rebate. Not a rebate, but he gave me a credit every month just because we vibe well. He was from Uruguay. We're Spanish. We spoke in Spanish.
Cool.
You know, so
you was hustling for places, making sure
Yeah.
you found the best possible
Connections,
deal.
man.
Yeah, the
A lot
best
about
possible
life, man.
deal.
A lot
and
about
to
life
be
is
honest with you, I was blessed because the location that I found was pretty much ready. It had mirrors. It had a backyard. It had a lot of things that just the mirrors alone. I think
this is where we are now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the mirrors alone. I think I saved about $4,000 to $5,000.
That's
So what
good.
are we doing outside, man, that I haven't done yet? What are we doing?
So in total, it cost me about anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 to open the school.
School, 20
Just
to
to open.
25,000. All right, cool.
25.
So for anybody that ever wants to open up,
2,500, guys.
And
A
it's not-
school-
that's not much.
yeah, and that's not much. And this is Queens, New
That's a
York. You know
humble
what I'm saying?
Very humble.
It's a
Just
humble
had my
start, yeah.
floor, my mats, 2 bags,
And then people
a
who
few
wanted to
kicking
train.
pads, and the passion.
And the passion to do it.
That's
That's
fucking
the drive, bro, to really just keep going
Man,
out.
So for those of you who don't know, I got my cousin, right? Or we have my cousin who has gotten into this. What about you said 2 years ago is when you really started taking physical training serious?
Yeah,
Right,
like I
about
feel like
two-
2, almost 3 years now.
Almost 3 years, right?
Yeah.
I haven't trained in 10 years, right? I haven't worked out really in 10 years since high school. I was 14. My freshman year of high school, pretty much football team. That's my last fucking weight training day. And I was into this, right?
Shit was hard though.
Can you sit there and say though that your martial arts training taught you mental like preparation? As far as you said, you had to sit there and save every penny. Was that always you before martial arts, or like how like?
To be honest, no. And I'll use the analogy.
Really?
No, I mean yes and no. Yes
Okay.
and no. When I was in accounting, I was making good money.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I thought you like accounting people were like really into like financing, budgeting.
I was great with other people's finances, not so much with mine.
Oh, that's crazy.
No, but there was a period
That's the
where,
reality situation.
It's true.
well,
This
in
is
my
true.
20s, I was making early 30s. I was making good money, and all the money that I made, I was spending it on paying off my school loans.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I owed a lot of money on
School
school
loans.
loans.
How much money you
But
had?
that's being
in school?
responsible.
I think I had it 48,000.
48,000.
How many years of school?
4 years
Yeah.
for college.
And you almost got the highest title in the accounting. You remember you told me you had to take.
No,
it.
I didn't get it. I didn't get my CPA.
You're close though.
Yeah,
But
I passed fair and I passed law.
Yeah.
And after that, it's too much.
It's too much, right?
It was crazy.
It's too much.
You know what? My heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And I didn't need it for the job that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So if I needed it, maybe that would have pushed me. But I didn't need it for the job that I had.
Yeah, cause the way we were playing poker and the way you played poker was very, very conservative.
This motherfucker's gonna school him
defensive.
any way that they play. Anytime that they play, he's schooling. He's teaching him something.
He was because
Because,
I play so aggressively, but I play aggressively and I pull back because I try to play on people's emotions.
He likes to bully people.
Yeah, I like to
For
bully
those of
people.
for those of y'all that like to play poker and y'all talking about bullying, that's a bully. All right. He likes to use his money against yours.
There's two things in poker that you need: patience and luck.
Yeah, patience and luck.
That last hand.
What's a little more important?
Well, nah.
Which one's
That
more
last hand-
important?
I
though?
wouldn't say luck. I don't say
luck.
luck. I want to say
luck.
skill.
You think luck's more important?
Because
Whoa.
you know what?
You can't work
The
on
last
luck.
hand we had, he had two aces.
He said it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Two aces.
I had two aces.
Even
For
if I
those of
had,
y'all, yeah, because man, I woke up to this. I woke up to this next morning.
I had
I found
two
out.
So, you know,
jacks.
when you playing
Yeah.
with poker and you got two aces, that's pretty
So
much
first
the
off,
highest when it comes down to two
Super
people.
quick, guys. They were playing Texas Hold'em, right? No limit.
Mm-hmm.
So continue. You were saying.
So the patience, the strategy there was no strategy. But my patience was like, listen, I'm gonna have a good hand. I'm gonna play my best hand that I can see. If I don't have a good hand, there's no reason for me to dish out my money. And I'm not gonna bluff unless I see something worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I saw that hand, that was totally luck. Totally luck. Because
You had a decent
on the
hand.
river came out that
Yeah,
third
on
jack.
the river came out that third jack.
And for those of y'all that don't know, what's the river real quick?
The river
The
is
community
is-
cards?
is when, while you're flipping the cards, yeah, you see what card is gonna come down, and then you place your bet off those cards that go on the table.
So you have two cards in your hand
Yeah,
that you
so
stay with and
I
you're stuck
had
with.
I had two aces, which pretty much to me, I just saw maybe like a jack pop up or whatever. I was like, either even if he has a jack,
He
my
might
aces
have a
beat
pair.
those two
He might
jacks,
have a pair, he
right?
was thinking.
I wasn't thinking about him having a three
of a kind.
a three of a kind, so a third jack. So he got it on the fourth one. We're already really balls deep in these bets. Like we
Yes.
got a lot of money in there, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lose this.
This is the part
here
of the
goes
bet.
where
Yeah.
luck
The
comes in.
buy-ins
I was just
are
like, if I
high.
lose this, fucking God hates me, bro.
This
God
is-
does not want me to win this game.
This is the psychological
God
part
does
of the
not
game.
want me to win this
Late in the
game.
game, the high buy-ins. That's how I really feel where like the mental,
And you know,
psychological.
we were betting
part
like
of the game.
crazy because he knew he had a good hand.
And I went all in.
And I went all in as
went
well.
Called his shit.
And
So you know
that
what?
that
You're
in
my
that
student.
aspect, in that aspect, that was luck.
That was like,
And you know what they say in sports?
but you had it. You
But
had.
that, but then, but then again, that luck also comes down to discipline, right? Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, you could have thought he had something higher, and you could have gave up, right? You could have.
I could have gave up, but you know what? If he takes me down, he takes me down.
kept it going.
It was
kept
well.
going.
I would have shook his hand and be like, "That was a great hand."
Same way right now. Right now you're still going with the gym. You know, right now it's tough for small business owners with
a
this whole
gamble. It's a
quarantine
gamble.
situation. So how is that going for you? What would you maybe say to all the people out there with small businesses? Like maybe advice or like how are you trying to
It all
go about
depends on
everything?
the industry,
Mhm.
on the business type that you have. Obviously, if you're a food business, a restaurant or something like that, I've heard of businesses selling their eggs, selling their milk, just to help make
help-
ends meet.
something? Yeah.
In
Yeah.
what term though? Like how? Like,
What do you mean?
it's selling their eggs, selling their milk, like.
Well, they'll buy extra eggs, extra milk, so you can buy your groceries from them.
Okay.
So that helps some type of an extra flow of income.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you know, in my industry, we do the classes online through the app. I don't know if I could say the name.
I'm sure you can.
Whatever. I'm sure you
Yeah,
can.
whatever, you know,
What do you
there's-
use? What do you
Hey,
use?
Zoom,
hopefully
I
they
use
hit.
Zoom.
Hopefully they
Everybody
hit
uses
us up,
Zoom.
right? Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom.
Hope-
So
hope
we
you're
use
listening.
Zoom, but to be honest with you, all my peers and I, we're operating at anywhere from 20 to 30% of what we have. which is a significant drop. Now, what's helping me is I've been communicating with my landlord.
Yeah.
And that's been truly helping. He's been a gentleman. He's been like, you know what? I understand the situation. Your doors are completely closed. There's nothing you can do, and give me what you can when you can. And to be honest with you, that has helped me sleep at night.
Yeah. And then
Imagine,
what about the legal aspect? Because the thing with business owners right now is I feel like they don't really understand the legality of what they owe. Like, do they have to pay? Like, or like, do they not have
Should they
to
pay
pay?
them? There's also the pride, right?
How does the loan situation
I have
work?
to pay them because I don't want to sit there and take help from the government, right?
The government right now is pretty much giving out money to businesses with employees.
Yes, I've heard of those.
Yes. So if you have employees, you're getting a ton of money. If you don't have employees, such as my business, you're not getting much.
Yeah.
I was promised a lot in the beginning. When the check came, it was not even 10% of what they promised.
What they promised, like 10,000?
$10,000.
$10,000, right?
They gave me
yeah,
14.
I heard of those. They gave you 14.
So, it's nothing. And to be honest with you, it's been such a struggle, and it's been sad because I know that once I return, because since I live in a middle income neighborhood,
Yeah.
I know that a lot of the parents of the students that I have aren't working either. So the recovery for that is going to be tremendous. It's going to be at least a year to return to the numbers and the volume that I had.
I'm honestly, I'm thinking about people like us. I forgot that they're kids.
Yeah,
There are people,
yeah.
there's kids. So I'm a father. I have my kid ready. I
Yeah.
was just telling you. That's that discipline, right? I have a kid, and I was just talking about. Woo, that's how real it is, guys. I have a kid, and I was just talking about how I had planned on putting him in a Taekwondo class, and then maybe 3 months went by, and they got closed. You know
What?
Yeah, man. So it was one of those where like
crazy,
that money.
bro.
I don't know. They probably would have had a different spot for him to go to, right? Because you said that there are three spots.
Yeah,
within
we have
New
3
York?
locations.
Three locations. So I could see that. Fuck, man, that's tough. You know, like
Also with the protests going around right now, are you like any scared of like any protesters coming?
I'll tell you one thing I've told the people that live, because I have a student that lives on top of the school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The mother. So listen, if you see anything going on, let me know right away, and I'll go to the school to protect my property.
Yeah.
You know, I have gates, which gives you some type of
Yeah,
protection
It
against
does. Yeah, the gates definitely help
against
with
bricks and things like that. But if, say, there's a violent protest, I'm running to the school, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to stand outside with school with my sword.
hold it down. Bro.
What else can I do?
Yeah,
Hold
man,
it
you gotta
down.
protect you and yours.
Also,
Because dude, look at John
if-
Jones, man.
it's a fact, bro.
He called
If-
someone fucking hitting his truck.
If there's a zombie
Busted on his
apocalypse,
ass.
I'm going to the dojo. I'm going to the dojo if there's a zombie apocalypse. Just so y'all know.
Everybody regroup at the dojo. Do what we
We
can.
have a plethora of swords.
And for whatever reason, if that gets fucking overrun, Curtis High School, right? Castle on top of the hill, right by the water. It's a
It'll
little
take us
drive
a
from
few days to
Staten
get
Island.
there, though. To
Fuck
Pennsylvania.
it, guys. All right,
that's
and,
right.
and then we gotta worry about fucking kicking our way to the top.
I got
of the
a
castle,
5-minute drive to Northern Boulevard on 104th Street, and I'm good.
But we don't need that place getting overrun. That's the spot, man.
So yeah,
I'm
no,
saying, it's fine.
that sort of
Fine,
thing
ain't.
worries me, and it hurts me because when I
It's
see
close to
other
home,
business-
man.
No, it's not even that. I see other people, their businesses being looted, and it's sad. It's really sad because those are, especially small businesses, because you're ruining and you're destroying someone's dream, someone's livelihood, someone's passion. Because to be honest with you, I spend 14 hours a day at my school. I start early and I leave late, but I'm happy. What else can I say?
Man, yeah.
It's true.
I feel like that's a big part of life is
That's what I feel like I'm doing here today. Is like
time spent, big
Yeah,
time spent,
we
whatever
spent-
it is. If you can go to
exactly.
sleep feeling like you accomplished whatever it is, that's it, man. If
Yeah.
you got a goal that you're reaching, you're striving for, you know what I mean? You might not have gotten to it that day, but if you work to it, man, I feel like that's a big
And
part.
you need goals in your life to give you some
That's what I
some
feel.
type of direction. For example, say you want to lose weight. You're 50
yeah, it doesn't,
pounds.
it's not a 100 drop, right? 100
Yeah,
pound drop?
say you want to drop 50 pounds. Just the reason that you want to lose weight is not enough. It's not enough. Oh, I want to lose weight. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. You need another factor. You need a doctor to tell you, what, if you don't lose weight, you're going to die. You need for example, for us as fighters, you know, we cut weight. If it was just to cut weight, we wouldn't do it. But we cut weight to drop down to
be able
to be able to fight.
To be one, fit, and two, in your own proper division. You know, you don't want to fight.
You want to be fair.
Right. You don't listen. I'm 5'6", 5'7". If I go up to 180 pounds, I'm fighting heavyweights. And these guys are unlimited. They're 6'2", 6'3", 260 pounds.
Christ, bro.
And they kick. You think I kick hard? Jesus Christ.
I was just about to say, so I'm assuming you've been up against those guys, right?
Yes. And it's no fun.
What are fights like those?
They're no fun because the body hurts for weeks. So
do you get a sense of pride though?
What's your strategy against a taller fighter?
Stay on the inside. Let him kick. Stay on the inside. Don't let him use his distance.
His distance.
Yeah. So I was always whenever I fought, I'm 24, guys. You know what I mean? My cousin's 24. My fights were never trained fights. It was one of those like stupid
scraps
fights. Yeah, right. You're high school, whatever the fuck.
Street fights.
Never really, like I said, I never really felt the need to throw my kicks. I never understood really what it was doing, right? I never understood like technicality of like chopping your opponent down, right? Spent my whole life fighting kids bigger than me though.
True.
I wish I knew how to throw a kick the way and that's to even say like I don't even know how to still throw like a 110% proper kick. I don't. But I know how to throw a kick.
We'll get there.
Better.
We're getting there. We're getting there every single day. We're getting there.
Every day I'm feeling more confident in them. But like I said, like I feel like the kick now that I still don't even have 110% is still something I can use, right? And it's one of those where it's like you just gotta enjoy that process, I feel like, and I appreciate it a lot, like just enjoying the process or whatever. But like I don't know, man, there's something, it was weird when I first like threw a kick, right? And like my fucking knuckles hit the bag and that's what hurt. And then throwing the fucking kick and realizing like you gotta hit that shit with the top of your foot, you know what I mean? And then after that it was okay, I got the top of my foot, but now it's picking my knee up, learning how to turn it, learning how to pivot, right? Use my body. Like those little things, man, that like, and at first, man, my day 1, day 2, it was like, fuck, I feel stupid moving slow. I feel stupid when I'm sitting there watching, you know, a black belt, and you said you were an orange belt. And this is someone also who...
He was actually about to get his green.
I was about to get my green.
Before he started slacking. Right?
Not slacking. John,
what was he doing?
I wasn't slacking, bro. So listen, I had a full-time job, and I was waking up every morning to try to go to Taekwondo, and then you know we're bartenders.
It's hard, man. We're
bartenders, so it's hard to do that. But then also for me, I was like, okay, cool. Like I learned some kicking, and I'm like, I need to do something else, right, to keep me like motivated and like just doing everything. Because in my head, I had a plan, like
So the way you say it is staying warm.
Yeah, like staying warm. So it's just like I had learned Taekwondo. I had learned the kicks, right? And I didn't want to just limit myself to one style, because you know me, like I always like to do everything. So like I was like, cool. Like we trained for 6 months or like even more than that, like just really, really hard, rigorously. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this jiu-jitsu school around where I work, because now they're giving me more days. Now they want to make me a head bartender. Now they only want to give me night shifts. And the jiu-jitsu school was like...
a solid schedule you could work on.
Yeah, it was like 2 blocks away. And I was doing both. I was doing jiu-jitsu and I was doing Taekwondo, because I
remember your mom was saying, nah, he's not home anymore.
I was killing my body, bro. I was going 5-6 days a week hard. I was going in the morning. I woke up mad early. Did Taekwondo. I would even do Taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, fucking bartend, or sometimes I would just bartend and do Taekwondo and jiu-jitsu.
I did a training day, I think,
like,
with you guys.
Yeah,
and then
man.
It took me quarantine to start actually working with you guys.
Yeah.
Again.
Exactly.
Right?
And now we're doing jiu-jitsu too. We're still doing jiu-jitsu. It's like, for me, like,
starting to roll a little bit.
Yeah, it just every day you work on a different part of your body, because one day you feel like, oh, your knee is hurting. Give the knee a rest that day.
That was me.
You know?
That was me 2 days ago.
Exactly.
And I came in. John was like, "Hey, how you feeling?" I'm good. My knees, you know what I mean? I feel like my knee's a little tweaked. Cool. It's all right. We're working on our upper body anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And also, even when I told him no, I didn't want to go out, because that was the same day I told you, yo, bro, you know what? I think go without me. My knee's hurting.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, I don't even think we're working on legs today. Just come.
And what I told you, just come,
bro. Just come.
I tell my students,
I feel like that's
whenever they have injuries, still come. Stay in the environment, stretch, do the little things you can.
Mm-hmm.
If your left leg hurts, don't kick with your left leg.
Use your
right.
So it's funny. I was scared. I was more scared kicking with my left leg, so my right knee hurt I was scared that the pivot was gonna hurt my knee.
In such cases, then don't kick. Do push-ups, squats, stretch.
Just do something.
Use your hands. Punch.
Listen, I've had students come in and all they did the entire class was stretch. And believe me,
the stretching
better
helps.
than nothing.
better than
The
nothing.
stretching
Better.
helps.
You're in the environment. You're not missing much. You're still learning by watching.
Yes.
You know, instead of just being home and watching TV, eating popcorn.
Exactly. And I remember we used to say all the time, especially when I just started out in Taekwondo, it's like a white belt, yellow belt, you know, pretty much the whole thing. He'd say stretch in the morning and then stretch right before you go to sleep, right? And then we stretch in the school. I was stretching 3 times a day and I have no type of flexibility. You know, I could barely even touch my toes, you know? So like I really just every day focus on doing that every morning, every night, even if it was just for like 3 or 4 minutes. I would focus on doing it, and I felt myself getting a lot more loose. I started off like how high was I kicking? I wasn't even kicking high at all. Now I can kick high, like reasonably high, and I'm still not crazy flexible.
I feel like I've seen a difference between day 1 and day 4 in my kicks. Like when we do the workouts,
you sort of feel it.
Of course, you know, because you're getting more comfortable. The body's getting used to it. You have to understand, your body and your muscles, your brain is like, what are you doing? You've never done this, really? Okay. Well, if the body will get used to it, the more and more your body will get more comfortable, the more and more you do it. So repetition, this is why we do drills. And when we do drills, we do repetitions of 20, 30 of the same technique. Just muscle memory. Build that muscle.
Literally going to say muscle memory is a thing, guys.
Muscle memory
Something that we
is
hear a lot, but we don't really
yeah,
I feel like
we don't
take
really
into account
we don't know.
that we realize, but it is a thing, man. It is.
Well, the best definition of muscle memory is when you're in a fight, you have really little time to think. The training should take over. Okay, say for example, someone kicks you, you move back, and then you counterattack. That should be an automatic move. How do you build that? Through repetition. You know, I do the same thing. I'll attack my students, let them hit me. 1, it gives them confidence. 2, it gets them used to feeling what it feels to hit somebody. And 3, they're getting used to the technique of moving back and countering. So this is why the muscle memory is important, because when you're in a situation of high anxiety, such as a fight, you have little time to think. And that is when the training is supposed to take over.
Kicks in.
Exactly. And I think even for the people who just train and don't want to compete, or like maybe they're too scared to spar, like just jump into it. Like just jump into it, because you're gonna get a whole different like mentality and vibe to it. And then you're gonna see that, okay, cool, like even me, like I feel like I had a strong mentality going in, still got my ass beat, but then still came out like, oh, I want to try this again, because I know where I fucked up. I could improve. I could just consistently keep improving.
That's the competitor.
Yeah, and then but that's also like the muscle memory in me to just keep doing that. And then during the fight, like I would wanna. Damn, I fucking.
For those of y'all that don't know, that's Zelda.
That's Zelda.
Big shouts to her.
That's my dog.
Hopefully
but
she's quiet now.
But yeah, so like during the fight, like I just there's really no time to think. There's very, very small times to think. At the end of the day, when you're in your fight and you're competing, your coach is your biggest factor on what you're gonna do next, right?
For those of y'all that see the UFC fights, look at the way that or any boxing fight, right? Look at when they go to their corner. Look at how their coaches are talking. You never hear a quiet coach, man. You never hear one. You don't see it. It
you
don't
have
happen.
to listen to your coach.
Those motherfuckers are in there. They're as in the ring as they can be.
The way John taught it to me was pretty much he's the guy with holding the controller playing a video game, and I'm the UFC fighter in the game, and he's controlling me by telling me what to do. He sees all the things I don't see. Right? So and he also knows me because we train together. So he knows when I'm getting tired. He knows what kind of kicks I'm able to do when I'm that tired.
Kicks. That's how he knows I'm not pivoting. That's how you know I'm not pivoting. Right?
Exactly. So that's exactly how he knows that, because he looks at you and that's also how he cares about you. He doesn't want you to get hurt, and he wants you to compete against somebody that he knows you can win. He'll give you a challenge, but you can win. If it's like too easy, then it's just like, nah, you don't really want to throw him again. Yeah, you're not growing from it. So it's just like a lot of people don't see that with like competitions, that like your coach is your biggest factor, and putting that in time with your coach to come up with that muscle memory is also a big factor in the result of your fight at the end of the day. So it's just like,
super quick, right? How do you go about your someone in your dojo taking a loss? How do you?
I don't care about the win or loss.
Win or loss, yeah.
Okay, my biggest thing
Training doesn't stop. It doesn't change in any way.
No. Obviously, if the training aspect, okay, you lost because of this, we're gonna work on that.
Okay.
We're gonna work on that. And I actually had a few students who joined my school about a year and a half ago. Excuse me, a year and a half ago. And they were black belts, 5 of them. And they specifically came to me just to fight in tournaments. So what did we do? We went to a tournament. I analyzed everybody. And I said, you need to work on this. You need to work on that. And you too have to work on this. Okay? Oh. So, however, to answer your question, yeah, I gain pride and happiness seeing my kids win. Because, everybody wants to win and wants to lose.
There's something in that, yeah.
Right.
Of course, the competitor.
Right. Listen, I suffer as much as anybody on the chair. I'll scream. I'll go crazy.
Suffer. That's a good way
suffer,
to put it. Suffering.
But I tell my students,
right?
because, that type of pressure can also get to a person.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy. So I tell them, listen, I don't care if you win or lose. What I want you to do is fight. Do not, if you're losing 100-0, you have to fight. You don't give up on the fight. If you give up on the fight, we're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Okay? If at the end of the fight, you fought your hardest and you walked out of there saying, you know what, it just didn't go my way, I'm proud of you. I'm proud. I want the opponents and other people to see our insignia, which is the wolf, and see, but like, you know what? Damn. We got to fight that guy again or that girl again.
Facts.
Damn.
Facts.
You know what?
The wolf,
I might beat him. He might beat me. But you know what? It's going to be a hard fight.
Facts.
That's what I want.
Facts.
I want the.
You want them to be worried about the next one.
Yeah, no, I want them to be worried about fighting my guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you want that
them,
competitor, whether they lost or not, if they won, the competitor won, you want them to be worried about.
And for those who don't think they have time to be able to work a full-time job and compete, all right. I remember one of the competitions I went to was like an hour away. I drove all the way. I even called up my boss like, yo, listen, I'm going to be 30 minutes away. I think so. Yeah, right? Yeah, it was pretty far. I had 3 fights that day. 3 fights, all back to back to back, right? And I think I maybe won 1 or I lost 2, but they were...
No. You won all of them. No, you won except for the last one by 1 point.
Oh, yeah, by 1 point. Yeah. But they were all good fights. I remember them all being good fights. And like, I really felt tested. I was exhausted after the first fight.
Of all those 3 fights, would you say that the closest one was the one that you would do again?
Yeah, because I got kicked in the face. And I got kicked in the face twice, or I think 3 times. When you get kicked in the face...
So there's nothing like losing your cool in a fight, right? So I'll sit there. The last time I think I sparred against my cousin was maybe 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
On the first month into quarantine, right? This is month 3. We have a third room for it. We put the gloves on. You know what I mean? I tried to. You know what I mean? I went up. I got tagged a few times, man, and training went out. It's just like, at this point, it's like, fuck, I don't want to get tagged no more.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tag him back. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where like the real discipline comes in the fighting. It's like
that's my favorite part.
You have to hold on to
and
that.
And this is why we spar, so you get hit and not lose your cool.
Yeah.
Not lose your temperament. And it's happened to me. I was 23. I was fighting in states, fighting the number 2 ranked in the country. At that time, I was highly ranked too, but not as high as him. I was, I think, 8 or 9. And
it's just based off record. The way they
it's by points.
On points, okay.
Yeah. So the more tournaments you go to, the more you win. You gain points.
Technical.
Yes. So I was fighting this guy, and first round, I was beating him 6-4. Then it was tight. At the end of the second round, I hit him with a spinning hook kick so hard that his helmet goes onto the next ring.
Fuck.
He was, I guess, embarrassed because at that time I was somewhat known, but not as well known as him.
Yeah, that's humbling for.
Yes, it was very humbling for him.
Yeah.
So, anyways, at the start of the third round, he kicks me in the nuts. And
teach you a lesson.
Hard.
You think that was a?
No, it was on purpose.
Mental?
Totally. Oh yeah, it was totally mental.
Damn.
And then we clinched after that. I take my 30 seconds and get my balls back into place, even with the cup
For
on.
those, yeah, man.
When you get hit in the nuts, bounce on your heels, please. If you're not bouncing on your heels, you're not doing good for yourself.
Knees, scrouching down, and
So-
John was like, "Bro, jump on your heels."
Obviously, I wasn't very happy about the nut shot.
Sure, who would be?
And then he clinches up to me and he tries to knee me in the nuts. He goes, "I'm gonna keep kicking you in your balls." That's what he whispers in my ears. Wow. I was like, "This mother." I lost my cool, and in turn, lost the fight. And I had a chance to beat somebody of high caliber.
And that's all.
But I lost my
hindsight,
cool.
you know, hindsight, right?
He did that to specifically get into your
He
head.
knew that he had a good fight with me. He had a big chance of losing if it was a regular fight. So he did what he had to
kept
do.
the mental.
He went to the mental.
He went to the mental.
And at that time, I was a young fighter.
You let your pride.
I let my
Carry
pride
you,
and
right?
my anger
Yeah, man.
took over, and I went after him, and he tagged me a few times.
It sucks, man. It sucks getting slapped in the face. But I feel like
But like for
you
those
won't
of
know
y'all,
until
that's
you get
growth,
until you
man.
get it.
That's
Yeah,
growth because he was 23.
until you get
said,
it.
right? You said you were 23.
About
Right.
22, 23 at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
We're 24.
And that being
We're
said,
still dealing.
I got a big ass nose. You know what I'm saying? So like
Easy target,
I
guys.
was always scared
Easy
to fucking
target.
get hit in the face. So I'm like, yo, my nose is gonna break. I'm gonna start leaking. I'm a bleeder. So I started leaking. But yo, if you're a leaker like me, all right. I go to my other gym.
He used to get
Anytime I get hit in the
tag.
face, I do leak, even if it's a little bit. But
tag sweat.
somehow my face got adjusted to it because I can get tagged mad times now, and like I won't leak. And then there will be certain times throughout the year where like I will just leak. I just put my head up. Maybe we'll stop the fight if my coach don't mind. You know, blood on the floor. Sometimes he minds, sometimes he don't. But you always gotta clean it either way, no matter what, regardless. So it's just like. Yeah, just go out and get hit in the fucking face.
The body conforms. The body does get used to getting hit.
I feel like there's something about. I was never one of those that like. I never really enjoyed the leading up to a fight. Right, I wasn't big on the butterflies. Even when we sitting there timing, right? When we were working on punches, right, and we were sitting there just timing and all that. And I sat there and I was holding the bat. I was holding the pads, right. I was doing the counting and the timing. That fucked me up. I feel like more than actual punching did when it was my turn to punch. The
Do you know why it fucked you up?
movement-
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because you don't want to fuck it up for me.
Yeah.
You're worried about messing up the timing and messing up my workout. So that's what, believe me, I've been there too. I was like, oh my God, I hope I hold good for this person. You know, because I get mad when someone doesn't hold pads for me correctly.
Yeah.
I do. If you're a black belt, you should know how to hold pads.
Yeah.
Facts.
100%. Yeah. Totally.
Facts. Yeah. And the same way with like learning how to kick, you gotta learn how to hold pads. You gotta learn to adjust yourself to
You
everybody.
gotta be a good partner.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
be a good partner.
You got to be
Yeah.
willing to let that person grow as much as they're trying to let you grow.
That's the healthy environment in the dojo where it's like the black belts. If they want to kick a white belt's ass, they can fucking kick a white belt's ass. If you're a white belt going in with a strong, arrogant mentality that I could fuck anybody up because of my height or whatever,
But I feel
or
like
my
that
mentality
comes to the dojo or the sensei, right?
Well,
Because like you said,
yeah,
you have
definitely,
people like that.
the sensei is the one to come in and like say what's up.
Just to correct one thing, sensei is karate.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry,
So
master or
no,
coach.
just say instructor.
Instructor. Yeah, that's where the instructor of the gym has to sit here and they have a say. But also the black belts immediately know, like, hey, like, you know, am I gonna humble him? You know, how are we gonna go about like breaking this person in without telling them to just fuck off and get out of here?
I feel like that depends on the person training who turned that person into a black belt, though, right?
No, yeah.
If you give them that fuck everybody up mentality as an instructor, then that's what they're
at least in the dojos I've been to, I've never seen like a black belt that hasn't really been humbled because they're so you're disciplined enough to become a black belt. You've humbled you found there's a certain point from white belt
you've been lucky enough to have
black belt
good
that
instructors.
you have to be humbled at a certain extent, whether it's a tournament, whatever part in your journey, like just through mixed martial arts, like you're gonna be humbled because you know that you want to be the best fighter. If that's your mentality, you're never gonna be that best fighter, but you always want to chase your potential best fighter, right?
The way I see it in martial arts is one of my mottos is my goal is to be perfect, but my curse is I'll never be.
Exactly.
However, I will try my hardest to do so.
So then, like when you see a white belt, somebody who just has no experience, maybe they're big, maybe they're just like I just want to show off or whatever. Like you immediately get humbled so fast by somebody that's just been trained or whatever. even if it's just like Taekwondo, because a lot of people, when they compare Taekwondo to like mixed martial arts in general, like they don't see how devastating just a person's kick can be compared to like a mixed martial artist that's like well trained or anything. Like I've trained with other people who are just really well rounded, and maybe all they do is kick, and their hands are whack. So you're like, oh shit, like you think you have that advantage, but then you get kicked by a person who just knows Taekwondo, and you feel that, bro. Like you feel like your breath goes away, like like you can barely like hold it in, like, and you just get knocked down or whatever, and like that's how you get humbled. And like that black belt knows, like, all right, cool, like, you know, I'm not. If they want you, they can get up and they can keep going as hard as they want. But cool, they know I tagged them in the right spot. Now he's gonna hopefully he gets up and keeps going, you know, and he thinks more instead of just like being so aggressive, you know.
A little more technical.
Yeah, more technical.
We've had students like that where they come really hard and they just want to blast people.
That's what I was gonna say. Then you sat there and you've humbled them, right?
You have to a little bit, just enough to have them understand that, you know,
not scare them.
Everyone's growing.
There are rules there. You have to learn, because you know what? To be honest, I have black belts that I cannot put with white belts.
Okay.
Because they're too rough.
Okay.
And that's not the way. You know, if I go against a white belt, I'm not gonna go all out.
Give them everything if you learned.
But I'm gonna get my workout in. How so? I'm gonna work my footwork. I'm gonna hit them softly in areas that they're open, without actually causing any damage, or having the need to humble somebody unless necessary.
Unless necessary. That's the thing with being like running a good dojo, is like making sure that every person is always learning from the other person, like in some way or form. Even if you're a black belt, your learning doesn't stop at black belt. You know what I'm saying? You should walk into the gym with the mentality of like you're a black belt, like you want to physically train like a black belt, but your mentality is always like, I'm still a white belt, I can always learn something new, right? Like that's the way I go about my training. Like I'm here to do the workout that the black belts are doing, but I'm also like humble enough to know that I'm not a black belt. I need to put my time in.
That's why there's levels.
And I'm always learning.
Right?
Yeah, there's
levels of black belts, right? So
in Taekwondo there's 9.
Does it get harder
that I'm aware
level,
of.
or is it
I mean,
more of just
I'm sure there's a guy out there
point?
somewhere 10th, 12th degree in black belt. But as far as I'm concerned, 9 is the highest.
When was the last time you've been to a competition?
I went to the U.S. Open in February. We fought at the ESPN Wild World of Sports at Disney World. It's an international competition.
It's awesome.
It's insane. Yeah, every year you go to those, right?
I go to U.S. Open. I go to nationals. We travel every year to different.
U.S. Open also takes does, like, you're talking U.S. Open as in tennis?
No, an Open is any type of tournament that allows any fighter to come in.
Okay.
So every country has an Open: Dutch Open, Spain Open, U.S. Open. So people from different countries come and fight.
Do you have any I would say I guess maybe country that you've had like I guess I'm sure every country or region has certain things that they work on more, maybe?
Well, on this part of the world, which is the U.S., Mexico, Canada, Mexico's the best.
Okay.
Mexico has leagues, Taekwondo leagues. They're very serious into it. Argentina's after that. On the other side of the world, in Europe, UK is the best. The British are very good fighters. And then going further, Iran.
Okay.
Iran is disgusting.
They get down and dirty?
They're nasty. And then obviously the Koreans are always in the conversation.
Yeah, because they
but
like Iran's like good, like they're just like.
Well, you know,
like
back in the 80s and 90s, World Championships, Olympics, they were all won by the Koreans. But the tables have turned tremendously because the sport has evolved.
Yeah. And I see you're still one of those coaches that's always progressing, always learning. Like I see you even right now, right before we started, you were like watching Taekwondo videos and stuff like that. Always like studying the short clips, always like learning, and that's fire.
I'm always the student.
That's dope.
I'll always be the student. I'm a student of the art of training. I always want to give my students the best training, the most up-to-date training. What are the fighters doing today? Because everything evolves. If you stay stagnant, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a responsibility to my students to be that way. And I tell them, listen, if you see something on social media, if you see a video, if you see a workout technique that you think we should do, tell me. Don't be afraid. Listen, if you see something, tell me. We'll do it. If you think it improves our training, our methods, let me know. I won't be opposed to it. I'm not proud. Listen, this is a joint effort.
Yeah, even when we all work out, there's times that you'll tag in, you sit there and say, instead of doing 5 burpees or 5 push-ups during the burpees, trying to kick it up to 10.
Yeah, I try to keep pushing everybody to their limit. But anyways, so
that's it for this hour,
we're
guys.
kind of wrapping it up right now.
Excited.
We've hit a little hour, We're definitely going to have John back on the show, as a quick update. If you ever want to train, if you're in NYC, around Queens area specifically, or around Bayside, where's the other dojo?
It's in Westchester. So you can go to www.nybbc.org. You can find out all the information for our school. And believe me, we're serious and passionate about what we do. And anybody's welcome.
Anybody's welcome. That's
awesome,
right.
guys.
You hear it. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
More or less on a time on. Do you have more or less like a timeline?
We have a schedule
when
online.
we're going to be open. No, but when we're going. The actual dojo's going to be open.
We actually signed a petition to see if maybe we could open around phase 2.
Okay.
Phase 2.
So but we don't see that happening.
Fingers crossed right now.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So hopefully phase 4. They tell us that we are part of phase 4, which puts us maybe best case scenario July 15th, but most likely August 1st. Which is, it is what it is.
Perfect.
Awesome,
Perfect.
man.
All right.
So for those of y'all that want to train, you got it.
There it
You
is.
got those dates.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Geezus Show. All right. Please don't take it personal. I'm going to wrap it up. All right.
Peace.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Peace.
How'd we